That's the one I told you 5 minutes ago. I told you about that
Uh,
one 5 minutes ago, and you said I didn't repost it.
I did.
So
I know that's the only one I had to push, so I'm good.
Oh, okay.
how are you this
You
morning?
got to push hard, I guess.
How are you this morning, John?
Okay. Fair to muddled. How about you?
Not bad. Doing all right. I've been warned by my lawyer, Colin, to cautiously
Be
approach.
careful.
Yeah, be careful with the subject matter, and he's concerned for my well-being. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start just to on a couple of issues. I'm Tim Danbrook. This is Georgina Speaks, and I want to state that we're going to do a short video today, and it'll run into the one that we did the other day. Part of the reason for doing this one today is because I was in an incredibly negative mood the other day, and I wasn't happy with the tone that I was running my mouth off with. So I just wanted to clarify. But I will be posting it because I don't edit anything, because I don't consider it a fair process if you do. So that's that.
That's quite sensitive of you, Tim.
Yeah. Let me just shut my phone off here. So here's the deal. As far as I was concerned, we were settled, and I had on the judicial review application, as far as I understood, we were settled, and I had sent it to Colin to clarify that, my lawyer Colin, because I thought it must have been something between the two lawyers. They'd be able to resolve whatever misunderstanding there might be. And so because I was settled, and because the town lawyer had offered me the opportunity to participate with the town, I published a rather, what I thought to be a pleasant posting regarding the fact that I've committed to bake cherry cheesecakes for every councillor. And I offered a selection of chocolate cherry cheesecakes, vanilla cherry cheesecakes, and cherry cheesecakes. And the lawyer, I guess somebody, the CAO took a screenshot and sent it to the lawyer, because that's, we have to explore the legal ramifications of that, I guess. So where we've
Did they consider it a threat that you were going to poison them, Tim?
Well, yeah, maybe that was scurrilous behavior.
Tell them they can have their cake and eat it too.
They're definitely not used to that.
No, they're not, definitely.
So the thing is, basically, we did come to an agreement in relation to dismissing without cost, both parties walking away, and there was some question about the timing of my accepting of their offer and so on. So basically, the town lawyer is threatening to keep it alive by opposing our attempts to enforce that agreement, and in which case he'll be trying to make. He's forcing us to keep suing his client to defend a legal position, namely that he took that we own everything, which they've since reversed, which makes the judicial review essentially not necessary, but they want to try to force me to keep it going. So I'm not sure. I don't want to say what their motives would be as lawyers. I don't know why they would want to keep a litigation going, but
perhaps it's money.
no, you know what? I don't want to make any kind of allegation of that nature. I'll let people draw their own conclusions.
Not an allegation.
Yeah,
I would never do that either.
yeah, exactly. So with that, so that's where we're at with that. So I guess we'll see how all of that goes, but it strikes me as a bit of odd behavior as far as I'm concerned, but we'll see. The lawyers will sort it out. For me, in all intents and purposes, from my discussions with my lawyer, we're definitely done, and I guess he'll sort that out with them. And so that's the gist of where we're at today. And yeah, that's it. I thought I was happy. We were done. We're working along. I sent them the videos that I did, the drone videos, because I thought they contained valuable information that the town should have. And I've got a number of people getting conveyances reports done now, so that all the way along the lake, we'll get a better understanding of what the position of these properties are and what people's rights are in terms of, proving their possessory title claims, like the proper way of establishing title along the lake, which should have been going on for 7 years now, and hasn't been. So that's where we're at. And
at least we can start now, Tim, or people can. Maybe it's a bit more expensive now, but at least they have a pathway to assist in their ownership.
Yeah,
through what you said.
Well, that's the important part. Everybody had a need, and I believe should have been told a long time ago that only the individual property owners they're the only ones who have the right to exercise their possessory title claims or whatever claims they have over the individual properties. And for the town not to have informed them of that or acted as though it's any other way, I believe was wrong. But what do I know? I'm just uneducated brute. What can I tell you? What do you
Well, we
think,
got, I was looking up some of the things you were talking about before, Tim, about the Georgina tax rate. It was 3.9% in 2020, 3.6 in 2019, 2.9 in 2018, and 4.5% in 2017. Just, you were saying it was above the consumer price index or whatever you were talking about. So
at
I
least
just kind of goes up.
50% more to double what it was the year that this council took over. The 100%. I checked it myself too. The last year that the former council sat, the rate of inflation or cost of living, however they posted, they're both, is what the council had managed to adhere to, and in previous years, generally around that figure. Go ahead, John.
But you have to remember that tax increase is on top of the assessment growth.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of additional money. Never forget that.
Yeah, 100%. And I know when I was looking at it, so they got like a 200% increase in their revenues based on that.
The tax base, yeah.
Yeah, and somebody took exception. Some friend of somebody took exception, and they posted a budget. I had to laugh to something on Facebook, and so I took it down. And you know me, when I get some information, I go check it out. And based on that, there's no earmarks anymore, so nobody actually knows. No money stays in one place for one thing anymore. It's just in a big pot, and they just keep coming up with. They provide budgets that include things, and you don't know where that money came from because it used to be earmarked for something else, but now it's not. And so it's very hard to determine. But what I did determine is they're spending a ton of more money than they ever did before, and they're just raising the taxes to cover whatever they think they want to do today. It's no doubt about it. It's not even a question. Anyway, John, that's my rant. You have more experience with this kind of thing than I'll ever have. So what do you think about, I don't know, like I have no, I'm at a loss to try to get my head around how this council is setting an overall criteria. Like that Merck is 50 million now. It was 28 million 3 years ago and blah, blah, blah. And then now they haven't even started, and they've doubled what the anticipated budget was when they started. It's up to 50 million now. So, by the time it starts, until it gets finished, it'll be 100 million or 75 million. And the people are just going to have to pay it. So I don't know where council, what they're using as a guideline.
Well, they're obviously walking their own walk and talking their own talk. If a referendum had ever been done, which it wasn't, who knows what the results would have been. There are a lot of people in favor of it, and you gotta say to them, good for you. You want the best for the community. And there are a lot of people that are against it. But bottom line is, it appears that we're on the road to spend at least 60 million plus. Then don't forget the operating costs in the millions every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And then, and again, I what I generally do, because I'm not that bright and because I have no experience in this stuff, one thing I do know for sure is take the budget that the town has, look at the budget for Newmarket, Aurora, Richmond Hill, look at the population bases, do the calculation for what is it here per capita, per person in relation to what it is per person, the budget they spend in the different areas, whether it's recreation, whether it's engineering, whether it's roads. So if you compare one to the other, at least in terms of per person taxable every year, how much each person has to pay in taxes, we are per person are well in excess of what other municipalities are. That's my homework. I did my homework assignment.
But it's not quite a fair comparison. And I'll say this in council's defense. We have a very large area with three major communities from Pefferlaw, Sutton, and Keswick, and lots of hamlets in between. and it costs more to deliver services in a bigger area. So, that is certainly an issue, and it's not fair to compare to one large block of land that is concentric. It's tight. It's easier to provide service. I note that Newmarket only has one library, by the way,
and it seems to be getting the job done too, eh? So anyway, no, I accept your judgment on that in that regard, and it makes total sense. But the thing is that because of that excess cost that we have, that other municipalities don't have, because of the size in the area and the way that the services are spread out over a larger geographical area, it seems to me that they might be paying a little bit more attention to that than another library in a MERC and other duplicating facilities that we already have, as opposed to improving the ones that we already have. Somebody wants a big monument there to say we're Georgina, we're in the 21st century or something. I don't know. Like, it seems like a really weird thing to me, that whole MERC. Like, if you look at the budget, the part of the budget, there's going to get any relief in the budget in other areas. Like, if we didn't have a library, do a library there. If we already have a library, then why bother doing another one? And then there's a whole bunch of different areas that they're proposing that MERC is going to accommodate, that we already have facilities for, that are going to suffer because those facilities won't have those dollars anymore. They're all at the MERC. I don't get it. I mean, I get, like I said, I'm not really familiar with how the mechanics of the budgets work, but it seems to me like a lot of areas are going to suffer as a result of the money that's going to end up having to go there, whether we like it or not.
Well, it seems, Tim, also that the other municipalities, I mean, look at the East Gwillimbury there, the building they put up on Leslie there. That's quite the deal. So I guess they're all kind of trying to outdo each other on how they're going to look in the future. So I think, to have a nice modern building, some people might like that, and more budget-minded people might say, well, we don't need all that. So John's right. There's probably a 50-50 on that one.
There's no doubt that Georgina is coming into its own on the top of the 404 with the increased populations, with the increased housing and the expansion. There's I concede 100%, but a $50 million MERC, I just think money could be better spent throughout the town on a whole host of other areas. That's just my opinion.
That is crucial to the argument there. Each community could have had, if it was ever needed, and currently the hockey registration doesn't warrant a huge new twin pad. It may in future, but I tend to disagree because it's too expensive. It's a great sport. It's great learning for kids, but it's very expensive for them. So, you could do more by spreading it around, in my opinion. And just as you said, Martin, as well.
And then the budget every year that's going to end up going to that. There's so many amazing nonprofit organizations in town that are working so hard, like the food bank, like Jericho, like there's just a huge list of them. And everybody knows that nonprofits are where the rubber meets the road when the government, the government can't do everything. They can't fund everything. So the nonprofits are where the rubber meets the road in terms of the service on the street to people that need it, to the communities and organizations that need it. So, and they could have spent a lot more time and energy into, I believe, bolstering that area of our community as well. So, I mean, it just seems like a big splash. They want to do a big splash, and that's what we're paying $50 million for. And all the sizzle, when it's all said and done, I don't think it's going to increase services dollar per dollar value that over what we already have. That's just my opinion. Sorry, John, I'm just ranting.
No, it's not everybody's opinion. I mean, we've got a lot of new people who demand, appropriate services commensurate with where they came from. And, they are paying taxes too. So it's like, it's a tug of war between us old, I would have said a word like farts, but that's not necessarily it. Us older people that have seen our taxes go up so much. 5 years ago, I wrote a piece on Facebook 4 years ago, a 12-year comparison of taxes. And I'll try and dig it up again because it's very revealing.
Send that to me. If you find it, send it to me, please.
I will.
And what was the gist of it?
Well, it showed that we'd gone up 49%
Wow.
in a period of 10 years. 49%.
At the time, did you look at what other areas had gone up? How much the increases have been in other areas?
I started to, but I gave up because it wasn't necessarily going to be a fair comparison. And that's, again, what you got to be careful with.
Yeah, it's not exactly apples to apples.
No.
No.
Are you calling us odd, Martin?
No.
Unique.
Unique. Yeah, that's a sweet word. Well, listen, John, I want to thank you for coming and doing this again this morning. Martin's getting ready to take his grandson down to Niagara Falls, so we gotta kick him out of here as soon as we can. And what I'm going to do is, as I had explained, we had recorded the other day, and I just wanted to take the time to apologize for any negative connotation that might come from that. I was in one doozy of I was on a tear that morning, and I to this day I haven't figured out why, but I wanted to clarify that.
Tim, in a legal case, a person is entitled to their personal opinion.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I know, and my lawyer Colin is a very dear guy, a friend of mine, and he will sort that out. I'm not concerned about it. I'm not concerned about anything I posted. I have not posted anything that wasn't true. And as far as I understood, we did come to an understanding of how we wanted to dismiss. And the only thing I was asking further than that was that we come to some kind of understanding of all of the issues now, where things that we know now that we didn't know 7 years ago in this. We've been at this 7 years. And all I was asking was, can we just clarify a few points so we're further ahead now than we were then? And it would give us a good starting point for moving forward. And they refused to do that, and their actual stated position was, we are under no obligation to talk to you. Now, I'm in the middle of a judicial review application, and their legal position was they have no obligation to talk to me, which I believe is extremely flawed, but that's their opinion. Good for them. You know, I was just trying to get to a resolution, as always. And but anyway, the good news is it's over. I'm baking cherry cheesecakes, and we'll see what happens with the law. I'm sure the lawyers will sort it out. So that's me for the day.
And by the way, his cherry cheesecakes are very good. He sent one to my wife for her birthday, and it was excellent.
I've got a pretty good.
I have to say it's the best little piece I ever had there of that, because it was mostly gone.
Tim, municipal government or any government hasn't got the right to beat an individual into submission. It's not fair.
Well, thank you for that. I did want to state on the record for my own in my own case, my cherry cheesecakes are my karma currency, and you can't beat the bank of karma when it comes to taking care of your well-being. You know. Thanks for your support, John.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your support, John.
No
and
problem.
Thanks, Martin, as always, for being this is my conscience committee, everybody, just so you know. When I'm not sure what I'm up to, or whether I'm losing my mind, I call these gentlemen, and they say, yeah, probably, but in this case, you're okay.
I think we are.
Yeah.
Take care.
So long, folks.